that I could like go, oh well, if I look at the chart, this timeline, it was kind of vague, and so that.
See, I remember the dress because I remember looking down at my feet and seeing this like rusty red, ankle length dress or whatever.
Well, see, like mine, it was a group of women, and we were. We looked Native American. I mean, that coloring, and the facial, the bone structure and stuff, but not. And there was a lot of children, and I felt like I was a woman, and we were just kind of sitting around, and we were working on like some sort of hide. And the children were like just in loincloths running around, and there was like a fire, and I felt like maybe we were preparing medicine. Like, I don't know if it was for like actually like to heal sick people, or if it was like some sort of like
recreational.
Well, no, I mean like ceremonial. I didn't know. I never got the urgency like somebody was hurt, but almost like that this was like routine. And it was a peaceful time, and like I said, the children were running around playing in the dirt, and it was like a group of women. It felt like sisters, and I don't mean like biologically, but just a sisterhood, and everybody was pitching in and working, and it was, it was just like mid-afternoon, and it just felt like almost like that was the council of mothers or something. I don't know. It just felt like a matriarchal thing. And I felt like that I was like a almost like a healer, wise woman kind of thing. And I mean that in the not the funny sense. Like, just like a village elder almost.
What the fuck is the funny sense?
Well, like a wise woman, I'm a wise ass. Oh. I'm clearly smarter than everybody else in every room. Jesus, I could go on for days.
Except for this one.
Yeah, well, okay. And then the next one, there was... Get off me.
Whoa. Quit jerking the equipment off the table.
Real quick before I forget, you were talking about what time of day. I do remember that, like
that is real clear.
Yeah, real clear, because like the wheat field was over here, and the sun was going. It wasn't down, but it was like real bright orange, and it was like almost nighttime.
Yeah,
sun
so it was
down.
like it's funny how like details like that are so clear.
That must be why you hate dresses now.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sick of this.
I've only seen her wear a dress like maybe 24 times in 20 years.
I don't even think that many.
Yeah, it was. Like, I couldn't describe any of the other people in its faces except for this one child.
I remember it just being me. I don't remember seeing anybody else.
Just me.
And it was just, very pedestrian. It felt like just almost like if you were eavesdropping on just anything, And I can't recall faces, but I can, like, body language and the murmur of the voices. It was very tactile. And then the second one, he... was bringing me back up, saying, now we're going to come closer to the now, and there was a long, it's like a meadow sort of country lane with fields on either side, and I was coming down. I had a basket in my hands and a long dress, like just like a neutrally kind of grayish blue color, and like a kerchief and all that, and I was taking a basket of flowers and plants and giving it to like somebody I think was my grandmother, and it was just a little like cottage, chickens and a couple of cows and nothing.
Do you have any idea when that was?
It felt like 15th 16th century, and it felt Celtic. Like, I'm not going to say.
I was about to say, it almost seems like an English side cottage.
Yeah, like Scottish, English, Irish even, and I mean, I have family ties and all that, and it just felt very pedestrian. I felt like she was sort of the healer of the area, so I thought that was interesting that healer was a factor in both, and I thought it was interesting that women were the only people like that were they felt like teachers. Like in one that I was the teacher, in the other I was being almost apprenticed to another woman. And the healers thing was both. It was. And it was just, nothing was happening. Again, there was no sense of urgency. Like, oh my God, I'd been to, rush these to help somebody. Like, almost like this was just like the day-to-day commonality of life. And
so between those two, did they seem like they were near the same time frame?
No.
So it was a considerable difference.
The one felt ancient.
Okay.
The one felt like if I had to tell you, I'm talking. Maybe over like when the people crossed over the Bering Land Bridge. I'm talking ancient.
Oh wow!
And pre-recorded history. And again, I can't say that for sure, but the clothes looked really primitive and not in that cheesy way that we imagine them. Just very utilitarian, and just the way. And there was fire and things like that, but it was pretty primitive. And then the other was, like I said, it was more maybe Elizabethan or in the 100 years either side of that. And nothing. And I'm like Amber. Like I've always been fascinated with certain time periods and certain historical phenomenon. And trust me, if I was going to imagine these things. That's not what I would have picked. I would have been. There would have been a castle. There'd have been a a keep like with a like a warrior band or Trust me, I would have gone.
Yeah,
bigger,
mine would have
home.
been like pyramids, castles.
Right. It was not what I thought I'd see.
Was really cool.
Okay, Chris, go.
I was just gonna throw that out now.
Yeah, yours
I
was
wanna hear
neat.
yours.
All right, so keep in mind.
How long ago did we do this? Do we remember?
10 years.
Yeah, it was when we first all got in the earlier part of our friendship.
Like I said, I want to say, how old were we when we moved here?
You said.
Huh?
How old were we when we moved here?
27.
Okay, so maybe I was like 28.
Just getting ready to turn 28.
Yeah, so that would have been like in the first little bit of us meeting. It would have been longer than 10 years ago. Okay.
So, all right. So mine started out, and I don't know if he did this with you guys, but he said, imagine a staircase.
Yes.
Okay, well, mine...
And like, you started the vision by imagining what that staircase would look like.
Yeah, well,
I think mine was a spiral staircase, like just a metal spiral.
Really? Okay.
His was like this beautiful grand...
Mine was...
But I think
it started off, it was just bright white, like you would expect this fucking thing in Liberace's house,
like heaven or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, 10 foot wide.
I have a theory about this when I finish.
And as I got down the staircase, it went from this beautiful, perfectly finished, almost like white marble staircase to this very narrow, worn wooden step. And then when I stepped off of it, I was on dirt, which was kind of weird. And there was...
I could do a whole podcast about this theory.
There was this torch, and so I took the torch, and I'm walking through what looks like where they would keep... I was underground. Where they
like
would...
man-made?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there were cages.
Okay, yeah.
It's Charlie.
Yeah. So what it was where they would keep the animals for the gladiator games.
Which is cool because after he told me that, I looked that up.
And that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and that was real. And neither one of us knew that.
I've never seen that
They
before.
Absolutely kept them in caves and cages.
And so I walked up these stairs, like this little... it wasn't like 50 steps. It was just like 10. And they were like cobblestone almost. And I walked up and I was underneath a Colosseum. I don't know if it was the Colosseum, but it was a Colosseum.
There were many of them, yeah.
That's pretty much all I remember about that.
But that is cool as hell.
I think you remember saying something about your sandals, like the gladiator type sandal or leather sandals.
Well, yeah, that type of period dress was what I was in. And then when he said, okay, let's go back even further, I was on, and it was just me. There weren't any animals. There weren't other people. It was...
So in the first one, there were no animals in the cages?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been a decade.
Right.
But
and it's not one of those, like, it was... So much was just feelings and perceptions, you know.
But that felt very Mediterranean, right? I couldn't see my face, but I could see everything else. I looked Mediterranean. I was dressed in the period dress of that.
Right.
For what is it? First century AD.
It all fit.
Yeah, that time period. So when I went back again, even farther, and this was weird. Also, just me and a horse. I've never ridden. I'm sorry. I've ridden a horse. I think one time in my life. But it was me and this horse, and I don't know where it was, but it was like these rolling green hills. There was not a damn thing on either side of me.
That sounds Mongolian.
No, it felt British.
Really?
Yeah. Like Highlands, well, not Highlands, but it felt British, but it could have also been Sicily. I've been to Sicily, and there's a lot of rolling green hills there too. There are rolling green hills every fucking where. I mean, I know that, but it didn't feel that way, you know.
Yeah, you just get a sense.
Yeah, and it was me and his horse, and
what the horse was
else.
there any trappings on it, or was it just like a horse? Like, was there any, like, what I'm saying is like
saddle
or not even
no.
like. It was just like naked horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me and the horse.
Yeah.
And
I was just trying.
Yeah.
There might have been something on a horse to give you a clue.
No, there
Okay.
wasn't. It's not like there was a modern type saddle or.
Well,
Yeah.
not modern, but was there like anything where you holding a rein?
I was
any
sitting on
type?
him.
Oh, you were sitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you see like how you were controlling him?
I don't remember holding reins or
Okay.
anything like that. I don't remember seeing reins.
That's what makes me think Mongolian, because they rode like the Indians, kind of free form, and they use their body to control the horse. That's why I was asking what was.
I think
what you saw.
I think I might have been holding on to its mane. I don't know, but yeah. Other than that, I did not. There were no.
I thought you said you saw a
Nothing.
castle in the background, or you were looking at a castle.
Oh fuck! Hold on.
Because I had the picture. I can still see the picture in my head.
When he was telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me.
That's crazy, because it was like the way I was the way I was positioned, or I guess the way the horse was positioned. It was like there was nothing in front of me, nothing to the side, but there was a castle off to my back left, and that's about all I remember. But it felt,
and that's why you felt the British.
It felt really, really old, like older than the
like crumbling,
Mediterranean.
like Stonehenge and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
see,
But was it like a really like ancient type castle, like roughly built,
yeah, like,
or was
like
it
the
like
ones that
more
are mostly
than
ruins now.
what we think of as a castle?
Well, it would be in ruins now. Yeah.
Could you see what you were wearing?
No. That's about all I remember.
It's interesting though.
I want to hear your theory.
Okay, well, the theory, and it was so, because let me tell you. Well, do we need to make this part 2?
Yep.
How far are we?
We're 28 minutes.
That's fine. Let's keep going.
Okay, keep going.
Or, I mean, because I really think that we've got enough to make it a part 2, but if y'all want to keep going,
Yeah,
we'll
let's keep going.
All right, so let me tell you about my staircase, because it was really interesting. I'd forgotten that he did that with all of us.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, and so it was so interesting for me to hear your staircases, because they're so telling. And let me tell you what mine was.
I know Austin's was almost the same as his.
He and Austin are so alike.
I know.
You know, that just reinforces my theory. My stair...
He's my soul brother.
I gave birth to your soul twin.
He's my twin flame.
Y'all definitely... You two motherfuckers are the same kind of wrong. And I say that with all the love in my heart. But my staircase was very primitive, very earthy. Mine almost, there was ambiguity as to whether they were done by human hands or whether. Because as it started, it was just these weathered steps into this into this hillside.
Almost like carved stone.
Sorta, like I said,
Like
where
could be weathered.
could
with
have been weathered,
dirt, or someone could have
ridges
put
weathered,
stones in.
or even naturally occurring weathered that was reinforced by human hands.
I've even seen some with tree roots that almost form steps.
And so it was very much natural, but maybe with human intervention.
Okay.
And it was broad, and it was like